So a friend of mine genuinely has never played football in his life, not even at school. Texted me last week during the World Cup saying he wants to start playing and he's wondering where to begin. And my first instinct was just to say, okay, cool, let's go find a five-a-side game this weekend. And then I actually thought about it for a second and went, wait, no, don't do that yet. Not because he's not allowed to play it. He absolutely should. But there's a gap between watching elite athletes make this effortless for a month and your body actually being ready to do what they're doing. Almost nobody talks about that gap before someone's first game. So that's what this video is about. The stuff I actually told him. Here's a trick elite football plays on your brain. It makes brutal athletic output look completely calm. A player drifts past three defenders and it looks like he's just walking with intention. He's not. Before he changes directions, he has to slow his body down, plant a foot, control his momentum, redirect it, and then accelerate again. That sequence happens in fractions of a second. Watching that for 90 minutes quietly resets your sense of what playing football actually costs your body. It isn't just running, it's repeated acceleration, sudden deceleration, sharp cutting and change of direction, jumping and landing, sometimes from awkward positions, kicking, which asks one leg to stabilize while the other moves quickly through the ball, and contact, shoulder, hips, and the occasional stray boot. These are not simply different versions of jogging. Each movement asks your muscle and joints to produce, absorb, or redirect force in a different way. Your brain watched a month of the best players alive doing all of this and thinks you're ready to copy it. Your hamstrings, which have had none of that preparation, respectfully disagree. Being a good runner means your body is well adapted to repeated forward movement, often at a predictable rhythm. Lifting can give you valuable strength and the ability to produce force in controlled positions. Both are real advantages, but football adds decisions made in response to other people. The gym is usually controlled. Steady running is relatively predictable. Football asks you to use your fitness in chaos. That is the principle of specificity. Your body becomes specially good at demands it experiences repeatedly. General fitness gives you a stronger starting point, but it does not automatically prepare you for every football specific force, speed, or direction. The World Cup gave us a vivid reminder of how many different physical demands exist inside one sport. Even among highly trained professionals, players with medical teams, strength coaches, GPS monitoring, and structured recovery, we still saw problems involving hamstrings, calves, groin, ankles, and knees. A professional and a beginner can both run into problems, but the context is different. A professional may be trying to tolerate repeated high-intensity training, travel, and competition. A beginner may be going from almost no football-specific exposure straight into demanding match. Think about it as capacity versus demand. Your body currently has a certain capacity, not just fitness, but strength, coordination, tissue tolerance, and familiarity with the movement. Then the game creates a demand. If the demand suddenly rises far above what you have recently prepared for, the session becomes a much bigger shock. Your body is not fragile, and this is not about becoming injury proof. It is about adaptation. Muscles, tendons, the cardiovascular system, the nervous system respond to repeated training exposure. Then, with recovery, your body becomes better prepared to tolerate and coordinate that demand. But adaptation takes repeated exposure, not one heroic Saturday afternoon. The useful loop is simple: exposure, recovery, adaptation, then slightly more capacity. Repeat that process and football becomes less surprising to your body. So here's what I actually told my friend. 6 steps. Each one adds a little more capacity and a little bit more football specific demand. The aim is simply to introduce the demands in an order your body can learn from. 1. Build a general base. Walk, walk faster, cycle, or introduce some easy jogging. Jogging prepares you to jog. Football will eventually ask for more. 2. Build basic lower body strength. Nothing exotic, bodyweight squats, split squats, calf raises, some hamstring work, and some light groin or adductor work. Football consistently asks your muscle to produce force and control force. Basic strength gives you more raw material for those jobs. 3. Practice stopping. Stopping is not simply the absence of running. When you accelerate, your body produces force to move forward. When you decelerate, your foot contacts the ground while the rest of your body still has forward momentum. Your muscles around the ankle, knee, and hip have to help absorb and control that momentum over the next few steps. The faster you are moving, the more demanding that braking job becomes. So start easy. Jog and slow down under control. Then increase the approach speed. Then gradually use less distance to stop. Eventually, add a change of direction. You are teaching your body how to handle braking force before a game makes you solve it automatically. 4. Gradually introduce faster running. Jogging and sprinting are not simply the same exposure at different speeds. As speed rises, your body has to produce and manage greater forces in less time. The stride changes, the flight phase increases, and the hamstrings experience demand near high speeds that easy jogging does not fully reproduce. That does not mean sprinting is to fear. You just want your first fast run to happen as a planned exposure, not because someone plays a perfect through ball during your first match. 5. Get touches on the ball. This one is genuinely simple. A ball on a wall or a friend. Try passing, control the rebounds, pass again. Dribble around a garden or a park. Adding the ball changes your movement, your strides adjust, your plant foot changes, and you react to imperfect touches. 6. Ease into actual games. Start with casual kickabouts, five-a-side, or shorter playing windows. A real game adds perception, decision, opponents, and unpredictable moments. Things no isolated drill can fully reproduce. Work towards longer and more demanding games as your body becomes more familiar with that chaos. None of this means do not play until you are fit. Play and enjoy it. Just avoid making your first exposure the biggest possible version of the sport. Quick bit of honesty nobody gives beginners. You're gonna be sore. Genuinely, properly sore. In muscles you didn't know you had opinions about. That's normal. It settles in a few days. What's not normal is sharp pain during a movement or pain getting worse day by day instead of better. That's your body telling you to back off, not push through it. Last practical bit, where do you actually go? You don't need to walk into competitive Sunday leagues as your first ever game. Look for beginner friendly five-a-side leagues, local park pickup groups, or walking football if you want the gentlest possible entry point. Same game, dramatically lower physical demand while you're finding your feet. This is genuinely the whole framework. Start playing, but build the demands gradually. General movement builds the base. Strength gives you more capacity to produce and control force. Deceleration teaches you to absorb momentum. Faster running gives you exposure to speeds jogging cannot fully prepare you for. Ball work adds coordination, and games teach you to put all of it together under pressure. The loop is exposure, recovery, adaptation, then slightly more capacity. But this only scratches the surface.